Hello and welcome to RTM News. My name is Emmy Akura Adaa. We'll be taking a look at the stories coming in our news for tonight. Joseph rapists found guilty on all 3 counts. Nicholas Nemo has been found guilty of raping a 7-year-old girl in the bathroom of a family restaurant in Pretoria. The judgment was handed down by Pretoria High Court Judge Papi Masopa on Monday. Meno, 21, had earlier pleaded guilty to rape, possession of drugs, and defeating the end of justice, and was convicted on all 3 counts. The court had earlier that on the day of the incident in September 2018, Nino had consumed substantial quantities of the drug, ket, and alcohol. The child testifying in camera told the court she heard her mother calling but did not respond because the man with her in the toilet had threatened to kill her, Mosopa said in his judgment. Staying in South Africa, African leaders must get their act together so that their citizens don't have to leave, says Nzimande. South African Communist Party General Secretary Blade Nzimande has lashed out at African head of state, saying South Africa has had to cope with an influx of foreign nationals because of the instability of other countries on the continent. But the fact of the matter is we must stand up. African leaders must get their act together such that they don't disappoint their country and people have to leave. As I say, we cannot be able to absorb the result all the problems that are made by leaders who wanted to loot their country and do not care about their own. Still in South Africa, RICA surveillance of journalists ruled unconstitutional in High Court. The South Gauteng High Court has ruled that the government's use of the regulation of interception of communications and the provision of communication-related information act, commonly known as RICA, to place journalists under surveillance is unlawful. The ruling comes after Investigative Journalism Center Amabungane fired a challenge to the court in 2017 to reveal the use of RICA to place their managing partner, Sam Sole, under surveillance. Sole's phone communications were intercepted when he led an investigation into the MPA's decision to drop corruption charges against the former president, Jacob Zuma, prompting Amabungane to demand a reason behind the decision. And in the last story coming in this segment, media is depicting South Africa as xenophobic, says Naledi Pandor. International Relations and Cooperation Minister Naledi Pandor has blamed local media for deliberately pushing a narrative that paint the country as xenophobic. Pandor was briefing the media in Pretoria ahead of next week's UN General Assembly in New York. The minister said the government would clarify to the UN that the country was not a xenophobic nation, adding that domestic media was intent on pushing the xenophobic narrative. According to Pandor, the unfortunate and tragic events of the past 2 weeks, which saw attacks on African foreign nationals and looting of their businesses, was a complex issue which needed to be looked at in context. After the short break, we'll continue in the rest of Africa. Stay tuned.
Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, Wahi, education and entertainment for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Oh, RTM, RTM, oh, RTM, RTM, Redemption Television.
Welcome back. 36 people dead as cargo and passenger ship sank in the DRC. 36 people have been declared missing when a cargo and passenger ship sank on the Congo River in Kinshasa region, capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, police announced. The death toll from the sinking of a whaling ship in Congo is 36 missing persons and 76 survivors, police reported on Twitter. The tragedy occurred on the night of Saturday to Sunday. The causes of the accident are not yet known, said Colonel Perret Rombat, police spokesperson. The boat from Mai-Ndombe West to Kinshasa sank in the commune of Maluku, located about 100 kilometers from the city center, place where the current of the Great River is strong. Still in this segment, 4 Zambian trucks hijacked in South Africa. 4 Zambian trucks have been hijacked in South Africa by unknown people, according to a statement from the Zambian embassy in South Africa. The trucks that were coming from Zambia to South Africa carried different vehicles engines for reconditioning. 3 trucks were hijacked in Wedville, Germiston, while the 4th truck was hijacked in Joslovo in Gauteng province, northeastern South Africa, in the early hours of Sunday and were driven by Zambian nationals, the statement said. It was reported that the drivers were tied with cable wires and bundled in a car before being dumped at the roadside near the area where the attack happened, the statement added. Still in this segment, be patient, Ethiopia Prime Minister tells tribes looking to break away. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed asked the ethnic groups pushing to form breakaway regions to be patient and join him in building a great Ethiopia. Abiy made the plea during a visit to leaders of the Kafiko ethnic group that are seeking to create a new federal state, heightening further destabilization in Ethiopia's diverse southern region. You think that there will be many problems in your province. There are many interrelated and systemic issues that needed to be considered, said Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopian Prime Minister. The southern region was rocked by violence 2 months ago following a similar campaign by the Sidama ethnic group. And in the last story coming in this segment, Ivory Coast opposition parties PDCI, RDA, FPI United Forces. In Ivory Coast, a joint meeting of the PDCI RDA coalition of Henry Konan Bedi and the FPI of former President Laurent Gbagbo took place on Saturday with about 10,000 people in the sports park of Trècheville in Abidjan. Opposition activists united forces to insist on the reform of the Independent Electoral Commission and the security vote in the upcoming 2020 elections. And those are all the stories we have for you in this segment. After the short break, we'll continue with the Nigerian stories. Stay tuned.
Programs education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Oh, RTM, RTM, oh, RTM, RTM, Redemption Television.
Thank you so much for staying with us. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Fish out for a killer cops, fireman taser CP. The governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, has demanded that the commissioner of police in the state fish out the police responsible for the killing of 2 students of the Federal University, Oye Ekiti, during a protest last Tuesday. Fayemi made the demand in a statewide broadcast. The governor said he had directed the CP to urgently commence an investigation into the circumstances that led to the unfortunate shooting incident with a view to identifying possible culprits within and outside the force. What started as a peaceful protest by 4A students turned violent and ended in tragedy. Fayemi said that though he could not comment much on the incident in a view of ongoing investigations, he had no constraint expressing his sad feelings. Staying in this segment, Nigeria's super calm strategy questioned as Islamic State fills the void. Nigeria's new strategy of withdrawing to super camps that can be more easily defended against insurgents is under scrutiny following unchallenged attacks on the unprotected towns in the countryside. When Islamic State government stormed the northeast Nigerian town of Magumeri on the night of August 21, they had a free reign. Unchallenged, they touched a clinic in Magumeri, ransacked government buildings and looted shops before returning to another town they had raided that night called Gubbio, residents said. The new military strategy announced by President Muhammadu Buhari in July to concentrate soldiers in big bases is designed to give troops a secure platform from which they can respond quickly to threats in the region and raid militant camps. Still in Nigeria, tribunal upholds Governor Makinde's election. The governorship election petition tribunal sitting in Ibadan upheld the victory of Governor Seyi Makinde of the People's Democratic Party. Adebayo Adelabu of the All Progressive Congress had filed a petition against Makinde in the March 9 governorship election in the state. The news agency of Nigeria reported that Adelabu and his party APC challenged the declaration of Makinde by INEC as winner of the March 9 governorship election in Oyo State. Makinde pulled 515,621 votes to defeat his closest rival, Adelabu, who had 357,982 votes, while PDP and the Independent National Electoral Commission are also respondent. The petitioners say that Makinde was not duly elected by a majority of lawful votes, adding that the election was marred by overvoting and failure to comply with the provision of Electoral Act. And taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Buhari replaces Osinbajo's economic management team. President Muhammadu Buhari has replaced the economic management team with an economic advisory council. The president said they replaced the EMT was chaired by the vice president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The new ESC Buhari's named on Monday had Professor Doyin Salami as the chairman. Other members are Dr. Mohammed Sagagi, vice chairman, Professor Ode Ojuwo, Dr. Shehu Yahya, Dr. Iyabo Masha, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, Mr. Bismarck Rewan, and Dr. Mohammed Adasha Salisu, secretary. The announcement, which was contained in a statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, gave details. These advisory council will replace the current economic management team and will be reporting directly to the president. These are all the stories we have for you in this segment. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our international stories. Stay tuned.
Programs were here, education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. Education and entertainment, For spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. Oh, RTM, RTM, oh, RTM, RTM, RTM. Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. Well, for quality programs, why education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. Oh, RTM, RTM, oh, RTM, RTM, Redemption Television.
You're still watching RTM News. Let's take a look at the stories coming in this segment. Germany asylum seekers receiving state benefit reduced. The number of asylum seekers in Germany relying on state support fell to around 411,000 at the end of 2018, down 12% on the figure at the end of 2017, an official said. This is according to the Federal Statistical Office reported. The figure fell for the third year in a row after hitting a peak at the end of 2015 of some 975,000. Hundreds of thousands of refugees, many fleeing conflict in Syria, Afghanistan, and North Africa, crossed into Germany in 2015. Estimates of the total number coming in mainly through the Balkans reached 1 million. Still in this segment, Pelosi gets squeezed on impeachment. The impeachment vice is closing on Speaker Nancy Pelosi. As it gets tighter, Pelosi's fortitude and the strength of her strategy will be tested after a string of House Democrats endorsed beginning a formal impeachment inquiry over Congress' August recess. The Judiciary Committee moved last week to bless its own investigation without the imprimatur of a vote on the House floor. As a result of that and of individual political messaging, neither Democrats have been widely inconsistent in describing whether they are pursuing impeachment or not. Stating this segment, Turkey, Russia, Iran must take more responsibility for Syria peace, says Erdogan. Turkey, Russia, and Iran need to take more responsibility to establish a peace in Syria. Turkish President Tayyip Erdogan said yesterday ahead of three-way talks with his Russia and Iranian counterparts at the summit in Ankara. Erdogan, Russia's Vladimir Putin, and Iran's Hassan Rouhani are meeting in Ankara to try to secure a lasting truce in northwest Syria, following attacks by Syrian government forces that risk deepening regional turmoil and pushing a new wave of migrants towards Turkey. Speaking before the trio were to meet, Erdogan said the three leaders would discuss the latest developments in northwest Syria. And taking a look at the last story coming in this segment, Rohingyas still in Myanmar face a threat of genocide, United Nations. Hundreds of thousands of Rohingya Muslims who remain inside Myanmar face systematic persecution and are living under the threat of genocide, a UN fact-finding mission said, repeating calls for top generals to face a trial. Myanmar security forces are accused of killings, gang rape, and arson during a crackdown that drove more than 730,000 people to flee western Rakhine state for neighboring Bangladesh after attacks on police posts by Rohingya insurgents in August 2017. Myanmar has rejected most of the accusations and dismissed a report last September by a UN-appointed panel which say the military officers carried out the campaign against the Rohingya with a genocidal intent and should stand trial. These are all the stories we have for you in this segment. After the short break, we'll be taking a look at our sports stories. Stay tuned.
Programs were education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul, we are here. education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, why education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting your soul. We are here. RTM, 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 Redemption Television.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the stories coming in our sponsor stories. De Gea, Manchester United goalkeeper, signed new deal at Old Trafford. Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea has signed a new contract to stay with the club until 2023. De Gea, 28, had made 367 United appearances since Sir Alex Ferguson brought him to the club from Atletico Madrid in an 18.9 million deal in June 2011. Now my future is fixed. All I want is to have this team achieve what I believe we can and win trophies again together, said the Spaniard. It had been a privilege to spend 8 years at this great club, he stated. Staying in the Premier League, Aston Villa moved out of the relegation zone with a draw against West Ham. Aston Villa moved out of the relegation zone by drawing against the West Ham side, who finished with 10 men after Arthur Masuaku's red card. Masuaku was dismissed with 23 minutes left after picking up 2 bookings. Before that, the game's major talking point saw Ansar Egazi clash with Villa teammate Tyrone Mings, although no action was taken. Villa's John McGinn had plenty of games better chances, forcing Lucas Fabianski into 2 saves. Still in the sports stories, Italian TV station bans pundit Luciano for racist Romelu Lukaku's comment. An Italian television station says it will not use one of its pundits again after he made a racist comment about Inter Milan striker Romelu Lukaku. Speaking on Top Casual 24, Luciano Passirani said, "If you go one-on-one with him, he will murder you. The only way to come against him is maybe give him 10 bananas to eat." Program director Fabio said, despite Passirani's immediate apologies, that he could no longer participate in our broadcast, the statement read. And in the last story coming in this segment, Pliskova claims the 4th WTA title of the year at the Zhengzhou Open. Karolina Pliskova swept past Petra Martic in straight set to win the WTA Zhengzhou Open in China. Pliskova only needed 77 minutes to beat the Croatian 6-3, 6-2 in a rain-interrupted final for her 4th tournament success of 2019. The Czech player, top seed at the event, only dropped 1 set all week on her way to the title. Victory in Zhengzhou followed earlier titles in Brisbane, Rome and Eastbourne for the 26-year-old. And those are all the stories we have for you in our news for tonight. Thank you so much for staying with us. See you again tomorrow, same time, same station. Do have a wonderful evening.
Redemption Television Ministries, redeeming lives is our focus. For quality programs, why education and entertainment, for spiritual messages uplifting